Yo guys, what's up? It's XRAYZ. Welcome back to another Black Ops 4 video. So what I want to do for this video is actually going to be talking about stuff that was not mentioned. So stuff that Treyarch and that Activision hasn't told you about Black Ops 4, because we did get the reveal, but there was a ton of stuff that is in the game that was also in the gameplay you guys are seeing and not in the gameplay that I want to discuss. So stuff that wasn't told to you guys about Black Ops 4. Some of the stuff is different, some of the stuff you guys might like. Most of the stuff is stuff that you have to get used to. So if you guys do want to enjoy the video, make sure you guys do drop a like on the video. And I also do have a full video that is just gameplay for you guys that want to go over there and check that out. No talking, none of that. Check that out over there and show it some support. In this one, again, I wanted to talk about all the little changes and nuances that are in Black Ops 4 that was not mentioned in the reveal and that probably you would have not noticed unless you were looking for it in gameplay, or stuff that just wasn't shown because, you know, menus are not allowed to be shown and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let me know what you guys think about these changes in the comment section below. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. So I'm going to try to be as brief as I can. There's a lot of stuff to go through, so let's jump into it. So first one, obviously it's going to be boots on the ground. Now the thing that they told you, right, obviously at the reveal was this is 100% boots on the ground. There's no thrust jumping, there is no wall running, it's always action on the ground, or whether you're jumping, but there's no thrusting. And this is all true. Now the thing about this though is that there are some maps specifically that I played that you guys, I'm gonna have gameplay in this one obviously, but I'm also gonna have that gameplay and then one more video as well where I discuss Battle Royale. But in this case, obviously it's all boots on the ground. But when I was playing at this early capture event and I got hands-on with it, it did feel like sometimes the map was more, you know, geared towards there being advanced movement, towards there being thrusters. And there is a rumor going around that at first there was thrust jumping and they decided to cut it from the game. So I'm still thinking the design of the maps look good for boots on the ground, but there are certain areas where you can feel like there was an area you were supposed to reach by thrust jumping, or maybe you're supposed to use your grapple from like one of the specialists, or I believe it's Ruin. But at the end of the day, boots on the ground works and the movement is very fluid, so it's not really a problem. But like I was saying, it did feel like at one point there was that transition from thruster to boots on the ground, and I felt it every once in a while, but not to the point where, you know, I was annoyed by it. So that's just what I wanted to mention on there. Now the second thing is that there is a new system that they have for health and regeneration. They just touched a little bit on it during the reveal where they mentioned that now it's manual and it has to be like where you reload, where it has to be kind of like muscle memory, where every time you get out of a gunfight you instantly pack yourself with one of those health little packs or health needle syringes, whatever you want to call them. And they did mention that, but the thing that they didn't mention was that there is a cooldown period on that. So it's not like you can like get into a gunfight and then sting yourself and then get into another gunfight and then sting yourself immediately. There is a cooldown, and obviously this has to be a feature because you don't want people just spamming the stim or spamming the health thing to get like health mid-fight, or to get a you know, keep popping it over and over during fights. So there is a cooldown. If you have no special stim pack that you can pick as a special item that for any specialist, then it takes around 7 seconds. After 7 seconds you can use the needle on yourself to get health again, and then but if you're using a different one, I believe it's around 2 to 3 seconds. So if you're using the special gear, 2 to 3 seconds, you sting yourself every 2 to 3 seconds and you get your health instantly. And if you do not have that special one, it takes around 7 seconds between syringe shots. So that's one of the things I didn't mention. It can be a little bit annoying, but I think for me personally, I was totally cool with it right from the get-go. As I was playing, it was already second nature to me too. As soon as I was done getting into any gunfight, I would hit L1 and boom, I would automatically start getting my syringe action going. There was a few situations where it felt like it was very disadvantageous to do it because like I was in a gunfight and then I was like around the corner and I was trying to syringe myself or whatever, but it would take like a few seconds between me pushing the button and then the animation actually happening. It felt like there was like a little bit of lag. So personally to me, it can be annoying, but I'm sure they're going to work on that. And again, like I was saying, it didn't really bother me because by even like midway through the first match, I already knew once I was done with a gunfight to syringe myself. It actually felt kind of cool. I don't know why, but it felt refreshing. So I don't know, maybe some of you guys hate that, but personally I thought it was pretty cool. But again, I can totally see how there's a lot of situations you're going to be in where you're going to wish there was just automatic regeneration. But again, this is a new game, a new setting. This is a completely different system that they had before, and I personally think it's cool. I think it's going to be pretty interesting, and maybe some of you guys will understand that when you're able to play the beta. Alright, so another thing that they did not mention during the reveal was that this game is very very similar to Rainbow Six or Overwatch in that at the beginning of every match, and I'm not allowed to show gameplay of this because it's menu stuff, but at the beginning of every match, everyone has to scramble to try to pick the specialist that they want to use. In this case, like in Rainbow Six, it's the operators, or like in Overwatch, it's the heroes that you can pick. You can only use one specialist per team. So not everyone can use the medic one. Not everyone can use Ruin on your team. Everyone on your team can only use one unique character, and it's a scramble to try to get them right at the beginning. So that's something completely different. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that is something completely new. It wasn't mentioned during the reveal, and I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys. All right, so the next one is that there are tier attachments along with exclusive attachments to weapons. So what I mean by this, some weapons have like foregrip tier 1 along with tier 2, and they try to balance this out by if you want to use tier 2, you need to use 1 and 2, and you lose 2 points from your top 10 from there. So obviously there's like disadvantages to that, but it's pretty cool. So you can stack them, and like for instance, if you're using foregrip and 1, you can use it and it'll like give you better recoil pattern. But if you're using tier 2 on top of that, it'll also increase your accuracy the longer that you ADS. So some weapons have that, others don't, along with special attachments. For instance, there was only one assault rifle that you could use a suppressor on, and the other 2 that were in the game you could not. There was not an option for it. So some weapons have suppressors, others don't. I think it's pretty cool, so we'll definitely see what you guys think about that. All right, so another thing that was added is perk gluttony. Now for this one, basically before you could pick, you know, perk greed, which would allow you to take 2 of a certain tier of perks. So if you wanted to use, for instance, like dead silence, but then also have cold-blooded, or if you wanted to use dead silence and you wanted to use ghost, you needed to use perk greed. But now you can use perk gluttony, which actually allows you to take 3 as opposed to 1 of each from the 3 different tiers, or perk 1, perk 2, perk 3. Now you can take 3 of perk 3, or 3 of perk 2, or 3 of perk 1. So it's a new feature. I think it's pretty cool, and I think it'll kind of add to that. So if you're really stealthy, you can go completely with perk 3, etc., and change your playstyle. I personally think that's pretty cool. All right, so the next thing, they actually replace kills with eliminations. So what this means is, as you're going around shooting people, if you kill someone and you know you get 90 damage on them and someone else comes and finishes them off, you will get 90 points towards your score bonus, while that person will get 10 points towards their bonus. Or in this case, since the health is 150, if you do like 130 damage and they do 20, then they'll get 20 towards their score bonus and you will get 130, and both of you guys technically get a kill. So it kind of screws up your scoreboard at the end where it says you had 29 eliminations, but technically if this was a different COD, maybe you only have 20 with like 9 assists, but in this one it just says 29 kills because both people get it counted as a kill, but not the actual points you get towards your score streak. So again, if you do 130 damage, then your score streak gets 130, but if that person does 20, then they get 20. So I think it's pretty interesting. We'll definitely see how you guys feel about that, but now kills are replaced by a term just called eliminated, so we'll definitely see. All right, so there's a new thing now where you normally where you would respawn, you would press square to skip your, you know, animation, your death, or the kill cam, and now it's different where you skip it, but then you also have to choose if you want to, you know, spawn somewhere else. There's an actual map that pops up. Now I was unable to actually spawn at random places because I think that if they did that, it would completely screw up the spawn system, but I think this is just a feature that they added because one of the specialists, she can basically place down like a tactical insertion and your whole team can spawn on there. So it takes a little longer to get right back into the game because you have now an extra prompt that you have to press X or A on depending on what system you're on, console or whatever. Then, you know, there's an extra prompt. Not really that annoying. It was a little weird at first. I don't know what the hell was going on, but if you're playing now, you skip your kill cam and then you have to press X to get back into the game because of that little, you know, pick your spawn, which doesn't work unless someone actually placed down like a tac insert, I believe. All right, so the next thing was that shotguns are now secondaries, and because they are secondaries, you guys are probably freaking out and saying, oh my god, it's going to be super OP. No, the shotguns are actually pretty freaking terrible. I was talking to the other people who were playing. There was at one point where someone was point blank shooting someone on the ground who was prone, and it took them like 3 or 4 shots to kill him. So shotguns are poopy, and they're secondaries, so we'll definitely see. I think they might need a buff, but maybe some of you guys don't really care about that. But yeah, now shotguns are secondaries. All right, so the next big one, probably some of you guys might get mad about this, is that it's now 5v5 as opposed to 6v6. Now, it's not really that bad. The maps still feel like it's fast-paced, like there's enough people on the map. The maps are definitely smaller now to gear towards 5v5, but this now means that there is no chance of ground war coming, and 2, there were still situations where I was running around and couldn't find anyone, so some maps did feel like that had to be an issue where it was like 5v5 and didn't feel like it was enough, but most of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, it felt like it was fast and you were always in action. But again, there was like a few instances here and there where it was like you're running around and can't find anyone. Just wanted to throw that out. Also, you're able to swap out to specialists mid-match that were not taken. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the match, you can pick which specialist you want. Only one person can get it, so you have to scramble scrambled to pick the one you want. But if say halfway through the match you're like, I hate this specialist, I want to switch, you can switch to one that wasn't selected. There's like a total of 8 in there that you can pick. There's 5 people, so obviously there's going to be like 3 of them left over. You can swap out to those if you want to, or if someone swaps out to a different one, then you can take the one that they had. So it's very interesting. I thought that was actually pretty cool. All right, the last thing is going to be the new mini map, the Fog of War. Personally, I didn't really mind it too much. I didn't feel like there was any drastic difference. I don't know why they messed with it, but even though they did, it doesn't really feel like it did anything. When people shoot, you're still able to see them, and in the general direction that they're at, whichever way you're looking, it clears up the map. Honestly, personally for me, I hardly look at the actual mini map unless you're someone shooting. So to me, it doesn't really affect me. Maybe if you're someone who's terrible at like finding out the layout of a map, then it might be difficult for you, but personally for me, it didn't really affect me. I wasn't too bothered by it. So anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Those were all the points that I could go through. There was a ton of stuff on here that wasn't mentioned during the reveal, and I wanted to talk to you guys about that. So let me know what you guys think about these changes in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you guys would do me a huge favor and drop a like on the video, that would be super appreciated. And if you are new to the channel, if you want to see even more content like this, then obviously make sure you guys do subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single upload here on the channel. I'm going to have a ton more going here for BO4, along with other stuff that is related to BO4 coming up on the channel. So make sure you guys are subbed up for that and have notifications on so you don't miss those videos. Go ahead and give me a follow over on Twitter, link chat in the description below. I'm talking over there all the time. And if you have questions that you want answered, leave them in the comment section of this video. Comment down below. I'll try to answer that to the best of my ability or to the best of my knowledge. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter. You guys have an awesome day. I'm out. Peace. Take care.